With food prices the way they are right now, walking into a supermarket or a grocery can seem like daylight robbery. Most people think that to grow a year's worth of food, you need acres of land and, well, hundreds of seeds. But you don't. You just need the right seeds. Today, I'm going through our seed catalogue and circling the varieties that keep us out of the supermarket aisles for most of the year. And for each variety, I'll give you one simple reason why it earns a place in the New Dig Norfolk Gardeners Veg Patch. Quick question. Which is the one vegetable that you buy at the supermarket every single week that you wish you didn't have to pay for? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know which vegetable is draining your wallet or purse. Hello and welcome back to the New Dig Norfolk Gardeners. My name's Barry and we grow our vegetables all year round using the New Dig method. Those gardeners don't fail because they can't grow veg. They fail because they don't plan. They treat the seed catalogue like a sweet shop and buy everything that looks pretty. They sow it all in April and end up with gluts in the summer and nothing on their plates come the winter. But this is different. This is not just a wish list. This is a plan to replace those supermarket vegetables. But here's the real problem. Seed catalogues are overwhelming. You see 5 pages of tomatoes, rainbow-coloured carrots, strange cabbages, and if you're a beginner, you just don't know what will actually feed you. So you buy too many varieties, sow them all at once in spring, and 3 things happen. You get a glut of food you can't eat. You have big gaps later in the year, and you still end up back in the supermarket paying high prices for the basics. Food security seems complicated, but it doesn't have to be. The catalogue isn't temptation. It's actually a planning tool. So let's turn it into a copy-able plan. I'm going to take you through the crop groups that we rely on. The staples that fill the plate. The greens that fill the salad bags. And the crops that keep us going when the shops are at their most expensive. You don't need to copy every variety, but you can copy the thinking. These are the crops that will fill plates. Swift is our first early. It's ready to eat in a matter of 12 weeks. Charlotte, beautiful summer potatoes. We enjoy those all year round because they actually do store very well for a second early. They're a waxy potato, so Mrs. W can use them in her recipes knowing that they won't fall apart. And then there is the Maris Piper. We do like the Maris Piper, a great all-rounder from the main crop selection. But along with that, I also always like to grow some Sapo Mira. This is because if we do get a very damp and wet summer, this particular variety is blight resistant. Carrots. We grow early nonce for a quick, reliable carrot that will harvest for us within a matter of 12 weeks. Eskimo, a hardy, very hardy main crop carrot. That, even despite all of the snow you can see behind me, are sitting there okay in our raised beds in our New Dig Norfolk garden. All you have to do is to remember to harvest it before the frost hits. And then there's our old favourite, Royal Chantilly Red Cord. We love this. It's a great carrot to actually use when you're making your soups or your stocks or your casseroles. Next, parsnip. And I've been asked many questions about parsnip over the last week or so. Seems like you all had a few problems either getting them to germinate or to get them to bulk up to be really lovely parsnips. The only one that we ever grow these days now is an F1 variety called Gladiator. And if it's sown at the right time, and by the right time it's not following the calendar as such, that just gives you an indication it's actually sowing it when the temperatures are right. The other thing is to always remember that you have fresh seed every single year. Next, we move on to one of Mrs. W's absolute favourites. She simply would not be without it. No, it's not peas on this occasion. It is the humble Swede. And the variety for us that we always grow every year is Swede Tweed. It's a lovely variety and is bred for the UK climate. We have in the past also grown, in fact only a couple of years ago now, we grew the variety Helena, which I know you're growing this year. It is a lovely Swede and grows really well in the UK climate. Next, we move on to Brassicas. Now, Brassicas are great for UK growers because they give you food across all of the 4 seasons. This is where a lot of beginners go wrong. Brassicas look very similar on the seed packets, but believe me, timing is everything. If you get your timings right, some of these Brassicas can replace some really very expensive Brassicas that you will need to buy from the supermarkets. Brussels sprouts. To start with Trafalgar. You've seen much of the Trafalgar variety because it's featured in many of our autumn and winter videos from 2025. And the other variety that we like to grow is a variety called Bridget. This variety is an early variety. That means that we can have sprouts from something like the beginning of October all the way through until February of the following year. Purple sprouting broccoli. We grow the varieties Rudolph, Early, and Claret. Now, with these 3 different varieties, that means that we can be harvesting purple sprouting broccoli from January all the way through until the beginning of May. This is an amazing crop to grow because it's expensive in the shops. There's very little that you can buy fresh at this time of the year. There's very little that you can actually harvest fresh in your plots at this time of the year. And that's why the supermarkets ramp up the price of this particular vegetable. One single plant will harvest for around 6 weeks. That's a lot of harvests. All you've got to do is to actually keep on top of the harvest. Every 2 to 3 days, you need to be picking these lovely succulent spears. Cauliflowers. I'm often asked actually why we grow different varieties of cauliflowers. And that's because I want them to harvest at a particular time of the year in a particular season. Yes, there is the variety all year round, but you can't be too sure exactly when it's going to harvest because you're sowing at all different times of the year. We use a variety called Skipper, which we sow early in the year, and it gives us our harvests from June all the way through to September. From September through to the end of November, even into December, Autumn Giant. Autumn Giant is one of the few cauliflowers that I can get to actually harvest for us in October. So for that reason alone, it's really, really valuable to us. Aylesmere takes us from February through to the end of April with its harvest, depending on when you sow them. And then lastly, there was that amazing variety Oreo. You remember the harvest that we had from that last May and into the beginning of June. Remember, we do indulge ourselves a little bit. We buy one special variety that is known for harvesting during December. You remember, only just a couple of weeks ago, we harvest this amazing triumphant cauliflower. When it comes to growing your own food all year round, you can't beat kale. Kale is a superfood and it harvests over a very long time. We in particular grow curly kale, the dwarf kind, and also Cavolo Nero. Next, cabbages. Cabbages are a great vegetable because they're available to you all year round if you sow and grow the right varieties. The year starts with the spring cabbages. The variety for us is generally Wheeler's Imperial. For our summer harvest, we switch to Primo. And with this variety, it's a ball-headed variety with lovely crisp heads. And Mrs. W loved to use these in her coleslaws. So we move into the autumn and winter periods. We're then going to be growing Savoy varieties like Best of All. We also grow red cabbages, which is the red drumhead. which make lovely recipes during the autumn and winter months. And then for the most coldest times of the year, so from December onwards, we use the varieties Tundra and Virtus. None of this works by accident. When you're growing these vegetables, they need to be sown at exactly the right time. Every one of these cabbages is written into our calendar with the right month to sow. And that's honestly the only way that we've managed to grow all of these vegetables so that we can feed ourselves from our veg patch all year round. When it comes to our calabrese, there is only one seed in town that we use, and that is an F1 variety, Marathon. It provides big green heads that we can harvest between June and the end of November. Kohlrabi. We don't grow huge amounts of it, but I tell you what, it's really, really valuable, I find, especially during the autumn months. You can get that wonderful cabbage taste into your stews and casserole by just adding those to your casseroles, chopping them up, cubing them up. We also like to grow turnips, and the one for us will always be Tukio Cross. Ever since we discovered this a few years back, that's the only one that we ever grow. Pak Choi. We discovered a variety called Yushu 2 or 3 years ago. We wouldn't grow any other variety. We simply grow that because it's the one that we've found that bolts the least. Alliums are the quiet money savers. You don't notice how often you buy them until you stop. We go for the varieties as far as onion goes of Globo, Red Baron and Mammoth Red. For our spring onions, we use Guardsman and Ishikura. For our shallots, we grow a variety called Zebrun. And then lastly, for our leeks, we grow Winter Giant and Jolant. For the garlic that we grow, we always turn to our old favourites, Mersey White and Solent White. Both are long keepers. Leaf crops and salads. This is the fastest way to save money if you're new to gardening and a beginner. Salad bags are really small, and that makes them really expensive to buy. And once you open them, they're past their best from the moment you do open them. When you grow your own, all you need to do is to nip into the garden and pick 1 or 2 leaves from each plant to fill your plate with lots of lovely greens. We grow a variety of different lettuces according to the season that we want to harvest them in. For winter, it's generally Winter Density, Arctic King. For the spring and summer months, we use Little Gem, Saxo, Lolo Rossa, Webb's Wonderful. We also sow Mizuna and Rockets, along with chard and the spinach variety Madania. However, to ensure that we always do have fresh lettuce leaves, during the winter and early spring period, we always ensure that we have some cut and come again lettuce varieties that we can grow in containers and move somewhere where it's not so cold. In the spring months, as part of our salads, we grow the variety French Breakfast for our radishes. And then we switch to a Mouli variety for our autumn radishes. Cucumbers, we grow the variety Pissandra. The reason we grow Pissandra is that it is an all-female flowered variety. You can't go wrong, because if you don't have a variety like that, and they have male flowers as well, and you prune the wrong ones, you end up with extremely bitter, awful fruits. Beetroot is another great vegetable. You can multi-sow it so it takes up less space in your veg plots and get great harvests. For the beetroots, we tend to favour Golden Burpees and Bolt Hardy. From the same family as the carrots, we also grow celery and celeriac. The celery we grow is a variety called Utah, and the celeriac we grow is a variety called Prince. When it comes to tomatoes, they definitely deserve their own section. Tomatoes have to work very hard for us, and that's because Mrs. W not only enjoys eating them, but we always try to ensure that we have enough preserved tomatoes in the form of passata that we can keep in storage for the following 12 months. One of Mrs. W's favourites, which is a salad variety, is Moneymaker. It's a really old variety, but it's so reliable, and they grow nice big tomatoes. We discovered a few years back a variety called Sun Gold, and we wouldn't want to be without that. Is it the best tomato? Well, that's all a matter of opinion, but what I can tell you is that it's always the very first tomato to ripen on the vine. And then there is Mrs. W's absolute favourite, which is red cherry. Red cherry we simply wouldn't ever want to be without. And it forms many, many trusses. And on those trusses are many, many tomatoes. Paste tomatoes that will go on to make our passatas and tomato sauces, our cordon bleu and super sauce. It's worth noting at this point that those tomatoes I can confidently talk about because I know that they will be either in our polytunnel or in our greenhouse every single year. But on top of that, we always like to try another 2 or 3 different varieties just to see how we get on. One crop we certainly wouldn't want to be without, and that are our squash. Now, for the winter ones, we grow curry squash and we grow butternuts. They store really, really well, and when we harvest them round about towards the end of October, we can still be eating those if we haven't eaten them all by then, in late May, even into June. As far as the summer squashes go, the only ones that we grow are courgettes. I have grown the patty pans and things like that in the past, but they don't, for us, have a place in our garden to feed us all year round. The most prolific ones that we've found as far as courgettes go are Black Beauty and Yellow Polka. Wherever we're growing our squash, you'll also find our sweet corn. We grow the variety Early Bird. This is because it gives us a harvest in August, which we like to have because our grandchildren are on holiday from school then, and we see much of them during those 6 weeks, and they do like their sweet corn. Legumes, where would we be without those? Well, I can tell you without peas, I don't actually think I'd be here. Mrs. W would not be a happy lady. The pea that we always grow is a variety called alderman. They're a really tall pea, and the harvest is just amazing you get from them. Not only can we enjoy eating them fresh during the month of June, there's so many that we always have 2 or 3 freezer bags in the freezer of them. When it comes to broad beans, they are one of the earliest harvesting vegetables that you will have in your veg patch or on your allotment. For us, there is only one variety that does that job really well, and that is Aqua Dulce. Of course, there are the runner beans, the French beans, and the drying beans. Now, these are an absolute staple if you want to be able to feed yourself all year round. Why? Because not only are they great to eat at the time that they're in harvest, but they also store really, really well. Dried beans, we go for the variety Bolotti, although we are going to be trying another couple of varieties new to us this year. Yes, this catalogue looked busy, but for us, it's not chaos, it's clarity. Growing a year's worth of food is not about growing everything. It's about growing the things you like and sowing them at the right time. And don't forget to let us know in the comments, what's that one vegetable that you buy from the supermarket every week that you'd rather not spend money on? If you like this video, do leave us a like. And if you want to know what you could be sowing during the month of January, watch this video next.